Imagine walking past a millionaire on the street and not even knowing it. No designer clothes, no flashy cars, no flexing, just another average guy. But here's the secret. They're not broke. They look broke on purpose. And once you understand why, your entire mindset about money will change forever. Think about this. Zuckerberg wears the same gray t-shirt daily. Buffett lives in the same house since 1958. Billionaires like Elon Musk don't even own a mansion. Why? Are they cheap? There's a hidden strategy behind this that the rich use to stay ahead. And today, you're about to uncover it. If you think millionaires just throw money around without a second thought, think again. The reality might surprise you. They're a lot more intentional with their spending than most people realize, often allocating their income to the same kinds of expenses you and I deal with every day. Adopting some of their financial habits could completely change your own money game. Stick with me until the end because every single tip I'm about to share could make a huge difference in your financial future. Let's get into it. Ever wonder what truly sets wealthy people apart? Take Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She didn't inherit a fortune or get lucky. She built her empire from the ground up with just $5,000 in savings and a relentless drive to succeed. She understood something most people don't. Making money is one thing, but keeping and growing it? That's a whole different game. Studies show that most self-made millionaires don't just rely on high incomes. They follow specific habits that allow them to build and protect their wealth. They make strategic decisions, control their spending, and invest wisely. And here's the kicker. They don't all follow the same path. In fact, millionaires generally fall into 4 distinct categories, each with its own unique approach to money and success. Some build their wealth through smart investing, letting their money work for them. Others create businesses that generate millions. Some climb the corporate ladder with precision, while others grind their way to success through relentless side hustles. But no matter how they got there, they all have one thing in common. They think differently about money. And if you want to change your financial future, understanding these millionaire mindsets is the first step. So, let's break them down. 1. The corporate climber. This is the person who rises through the ranks of a big company, starting at an entry-level position and working their way up. They put in the hours, take on leadership roles, and build a reputation as someone who delivers results. Over time, their hard work pays off. They land a high-level executive role with a massive salary, bonuses, and stock options. This path isn't easy. It requires years of dedication, strategic networking, and the ability to handle high-pressure decisions. But for those who stay the course, the financial rewards can be life-changing. 2. The expert. These are the professionals who are simply the best at what they do. Think doctors, lawyers, engineers, and specialists in any high-demand field. They don't just get paid for their time, they get paid for their expertise. Years of education, advanced degrees, and relentless skill building put them in a position where companies and clients are willing to pay a premium for their knowledge. It's a long road, medical school, law school, certifications, but once they reach the top, their earning potential is practically unlimited. 3. The dreamer. These are the visionaries, the people who build businesses, create art, or pursue their passions with relentless determination. They might be startup founders, authors, musicians, actors, or inventors. What sets them apart is their willingness to take risks and bet on themselves. They don't just work for a paycheck. They create something valuable and turn it into a source of wealth. Their path is the most uncertain. Some fail, some struggle for years before they succeed. But when they make it, they often build fortunes beyond what a corporate job or a traditional career could ever offer. The investor. There's one more type that's often overlooked. The investor. This person may not have a high-paying job or run a business, but they understand money better than most. They know how to make their money work for them. They invest in stocks, real estate, and businesses, letting their wealth grow over time. While others spend, they save and reinvest. They think long-term, and eventually their investments generate enough income to make them financially free. Some start with very little, but through smart decisions and patience, they build serious wealth. Which path will you take? Each of these paths requires a different mindset, a different set of skills, and a different level of risk. But here's the truth. If you want to build wealth, you need to commit to one of them. You can't just drift through life hoping money will show up. You have to be intentional. So which path speaks to you? Are you willing to put in the years climbing the corporate ladder? Do you have the drive to become a top expert in your field? Are you ready to take a risk and chase your entrepreneurial dreams? Or will you master the art of investing and let your money grow while you sleep? The fact that they're entrepreneurs makes them unique in that they have no cap on their potential income when compared to an employee. Finally, there's the saver investor, SA investor. It doesn't matter what their day job is, how high or low their income is, what credentials they have, or what opportunities are presented to them. These individuals prioritize saving and investing consistently. They're always looking for smart ways to build wealth. Most people assume millionaires are either corporate executives or lucky entrepreneurs who struck gold with a big idea. But here's the truth. Many millionaires built their wealth in a way that's totally within reach for the average person. No fancy degrees, no high-powered job, no overnight success, just smart, consistent investing. This group of millionaires proves that financial success isn't about luck or privilege. It's about discipline. They didn't take massive risks or chase get-rich-quick schemes. Instead, they followed a simple, time-tested strategy, investing in solid, proven assets and letting compounding do the heavy lifting. They didn't let market crashes scare them, they didn't try to time the perfect moment to invest, and they didn't gamble on high-risk stocks or crypto hype. They just stayed the course year after year and let their money grow. And here's the best part. There are no barriers to entry. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need an Ivy League education. You don't need to work 100-hour weeks. You don't even need a huge paycheck. Plenty of people have reached millionaire status while working normal jobs. Teachers, mechanics, nurses, retail workers, because they understood one key principle. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep and invest. Still think becoming a millionaire is out of reach? Think again. The only thing standing between you and financial freedom is a decision to start today. Because time is either working for you or against you. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. But if you take action now, even small steps can lead to life-changing results down the road. Most people assume that getting rich requires a massive paycheck, a genius business idea, or pure luck. They think financial freedom is out of reach unless they strike gold. But here's the truth. It has nothing to do with how much you make and everything to do with what you do with your money. Wealth isn't built overnight. It's built through discipline, consistency, and playing the long game. Let me give you a real example. There's a teacher I know, never earned more than $60,000 a year. No fancy job title, no side hustles bringing in extra cash. But here's what they did differently. They lived below their means, avoided debt like the plague, and made investing a priority. Instead of upgrading their car every few years, they drove the same one for over a decade. Instead of splurging on a big house, they stuck with something affordable. And instead of spending every dollar they made, they consistently invested 20% of their income, no matter what. Fast forward 40 years, and guess what? That teacher retired with millions in the bank. No business empire, no winning lottery ticket, just smart money habits stacking up over time. And this isn't just some rare exception. Financial expert Tom Corley studied self-made millionaires and found a common pattern. The saver investor group consistently lived on 80% or less of their income and invested the rest religiously. They weren't trying to chase higher salaries. They weren't obsessed with flexing on social media. They were focused on the long game, and that's why they won. Here's what you need to understand. Getting rich isn't about making more money. It's about keeping more money. It's about controlling your expenses, putting your dollars to work, and letting time do the heavy lifting. The average person wastes thousands every year on things that don't matter. Fancy gadgets, expensive vacations, status symbols that impress no one. But the person who wins, they focus on assets, not liabilities. They invest in stocks, real estate, and businesses that generate income. They let compounding do the work instead of grinding forever in a paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. The formula is simple. Keep your expenses low. Invest at least 20% of your income. No excuses. Let time and compounding do their thing. Do this long enough and you won't just be financially stable, you'll be set for life. No stress about bills. No worries about retirement. Just total financial freedom. So the real question is, are you willing to make the short-term sacrifices that lead to long-term success? Because the choice is yours. You can keep living for the moment, spending every dollar that comes in and hoping for a miracle. Or you can take control, start playing the wealth game the right way, and guarantee your future is secure. The path is right in front of you. The only thing left is whether you'll take it. So how do these savers and investors categorize their expenses to remain frugal and avoid reckless spending? Let's dive into how they allocated their monthly income in order to reach millionaire status, and how you can do the same. 1. Housing. The largest chunk of most people's budgets is their housing expense. This is often because individuals buy too much house for their income, or the rent they take on is simply too expensive. Plus, many are unwilling to live with roommates or make other sacrifices. Consequently, they end up spending most of their paycheck just to keep a roof over their heads. SA investor millionaires don't go wild when it comes to this expense. They keep their housing costs at 25% or less of their monthly take-home pay. When you're content with a smaller home or apartment, it can significantly reduce not only your rent or mortgage, but also utilities and other costs associated with a larger space. These individuals are also willing to sacrifice location. Instead of insisting on living in a prime spot in the city, they recognize the importance of frugality when it comes to housing. They know that settling for something slightly less desirable will pay off in the long run. Overspending on housing makes it nearly impossible to save and invest aggressively. If you agree, let me know by hitting that like button below. Now, I know what you're thinking. Homes and rent are incredibly expensive right now. There's no way I can limit this to just 25% of my budget. This is a valid concern. In the last few years, the cost of housing has skyrocketed, whether you're buying or renting. So here's what I'll say. If you stay modest in your accommodations and end up spending 30% of your income, that's okay. Is it ideal for growing your wealth? But keep in mind that Tom Corley's study was done years ago, and times have certainly changed. However, the core principle remains the same. Millionaires spend as required for their living accommodations, not based on social norms or the desire to show off. If you're taking the SA investor path, you should adopt the same ideology. 2. Food and home essentials. Millionaires eat, they do laundry, they pay bills, just like everyone else. But here's what separates them from the average person. They don't let everyday expenses drain their bank accounts. While most people mindlessly spend on takeout, expensive groceries, and restaurant dinners, millionaires keep their necessities in check. They typically allocate 15% or less of their income to food and essentials, not because they can't afford more, but because they understand small expenses add up fast. One of the biggest hidden money leaks? Food waste. People throw away food every single day without realizing they're also throwing away hundreds of dollars a year. The average person wastes over $100 a month just by letting groceries go bad, tossing leftovers, or ordering food they don't finish. It's a silent drain on their finances, and they don't even notice. Millionaires aren't rich because they pinch pennies. They're rich because they respect money. They know that every dollar has a purpose. The average person, on the other hand, spends without thinking and wonders why they can't get ahead. If you want to build real wealth, start paying attention. Cut the waste, control your spending, and put your money where it actually counts. That's how financial freedom is built. One smart decision at a time. 3. Cars and transportation. Most people assume millionaires are out there driving brand new luxury cars, switching vehicles every few years, and dropping thousands on flashy rides. But here's the reality. Millionaires keep their transportation costs low, really low. In Tom Corley's study, wealthy individuals spent just 5% or less of their income on transportation. Sounds crazy, right? Especially when you consider that transportation is the second biggest expense for the average family, right after housing. Yet these financially successful individuals manage to keep their costs down while still driving reliable cars. How? Simple. They don't waste money on unnecessary upgrades, massive car loans, or status symbols. Think about all the expenses that come with a car. Monthly payments, insurance, gas, tolls, registration fees, repairs, and maintenance. For most people, these costs add up to way more than 5% of their income. But millionaires, they approach car ownership differently. Sure, some of them own expensive cars, but here's the key. They don't let their cars own them. They either buy in cash, keep their vehicles for years, or drive something practical instead of constantly chasing the latest model. Now you're probably thinking, how in the world am I supposed to get my car expenses down to just 5%? Well, that's the difference between those who build wealth and those who stay stuck in the cycle of paycheck to paycheck spending. The question isn't whether it's possible, it's whether you're willing to make the smart financial moves that get you there. Want to know a secret? Millionaires don't waste money on car payments. They see a vehicle for what it is, a tool, not a status symbol. If you're serious about building wealth, you need to start thinking the same way. The less you spend on transportation, the more cash you'll have to invest, save, and grow. First, ditch the car payment. Financing a new car is one of the biggest financial traps out there. That shiny new ride might feel great at first, but that monthly payment, it's quietly killing your ability to get ahead. Instead of throwing thousands away on interest and depreciation, save up and buy a reliable used car in cash. No payments, no stress, and no debt holding you back. Second, use public transportation when possible. If you live in a city with buses, trains, or a metro system, taking advantage of them can drastically cut your fuel, parking, and maintenance costs. Even swapping out a few commutes a week can add up to serious savings. Plus, you'll avoid the headache of sitting in traffic every day. Finally, take care of your car. If you treat your vehicle well, it can last 10 years or more, saving you from unnecessary upgrades and repairs. Drive responsibly, keep up with regular maintenance, and don't push your car to the limit. The longer it lasts, the more money stays in your pocket. Next, there is entertainment. Entertainment is fun, but smart money knows its limits. Millionaires. They keep their entertainment spending under 10% of their income, max. That means nights out, takeout, movies, music, books, streaming, all of it fits within a budget. Now don't get it twisted. Rich people enjoy life. They go out, they have fun, but they don't let mindless spending drain their future. Adding just a couple of extra nights out per month might not seem like a big deal, but over time, that's thousands slipping away. Money that could have been invested, multiplied, and worked for you. So before you swipe your card for another round of drinks or a night of takeout, ask yourself, is this expense building my future or just filling the moment? Millionaires know the answer. Now it's your turn. Clothing. Let's be real. Everyone wants to look good. But here's what separates the truly rich from the wannabes. Millionaires don't waste money trying to impress people. Forget what social media and Hollywood tell you. Most millionaires aren't draped in designer brands or flashing expensive jewelry. Sure, some ultra-rich folks splurge on luxury fashion, but the majority, they wear simple, high-quality, affordable clothing. They understand that wealth isn't about logos, it's about freedom. And that's why they blend right into society. You could pass a millionaire on the street and never know it. Why? Because they'd rather have a fat investment portfolio than a closet full of overpriced clothes. So ask yourself, do you want to look rich or do you want to be rich? Because the people who actually make it, they know which one really matters. Vacations. Who doesn't love a good vacation? A chance to escape, relax, and make memories. But here's the thing. Millionaires know how to enjoy life without throwing away their money. While most middle-class families drop thousands on expensive vacations, Disney trips, luxury cruises, all-inclusive resorts, millionaires keep their travel spending in check, usually at 5% or less of their income. They don't skip vacations altogether, but they also don't blow their budget on overpriced getaways that set them back financially. Think about it. A $10,000 Disney trip for a family earning $100,000? That's 10% of their entire annual income, gone in a week. And for what? A few fun moments and a pile of credit card debt? Rich people don't play that game. Instead, they take smart vacations, affordable trips, off-season travel, and experiences that don't drain their bank accounts. They know that real wealth isn't about flashy vacations. It's about freedom. The ability to travel whenever they want without financial stress. And speaking of things that don't cost much, it's absolutely free to hit that subscribe button. So go ahead, invest in yourself. I promise it pays off. Saving and investing. If you're serious about building real riches, you need to start saving at least 20% of your income. Sounds tough? Maybe. But is it possible? Absolutely. And if you play this right, you won't just be saving. You'll be setting yourself up to multiply your money. Let's break it down. Say you make $50,000 a year. Saving 20% means putting away about $750 a month. Now that might sound like a stretch, but here's the truth. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. First, take a hard look at your biggest expenses, housing and transportation. Can you downsize, refinance, or house hack your way into lower costs? If moving isn't an option, how about turning your space into an income stream? Rent out an extra room, sublet your parking spot. Even small moves like these can slash your living costs. Next up, your car. If you're spending $1,000 a month just to drive, that's a serious problem. Swap out some driving for public transport. A $100 bus pass beats a $600 car payment every time. Still not hitting your 20% goal? Time to trim the fat. Cut unnecessary spending. Those extra nights out, impulse buys, and mindless subscriptions. And if you really want to speed things up, find ways to earn more. Work overtime. Start a side hustle. Sell things you don't need. Saving 20% isn't about depriving yourself. It's about discipline and strategy. And remember, every dollar you save today isn't just sitting there. It's a soldier going to war for your financial freedom. So, are you ready to play the game smart?